Dr. Phil, a mom so busy.
You've got 7 telephones.
She doesn't have time for her daughters.
You say you ran away while your mom was getting a massage.
My mother was at work constantly.
So you guys were there alone.
She did get a protection dog.
She's a great animal handler.
Now,
I went for professional help.
Is this the person that told you it was okay to get Botox in a 15-year-old child because they have a bad body image?
Actually, the dentist talked me into it.
what the nannies say.
I looked at her and I was like, are you serious?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you very much. Well, this is 16-year-old Veronica. Now, viewers at home and online will definitely hear from her today, but will not see her face because she's a child who attends school and allegedly parties with boys and sometimes even adult men. And her mom, Valerie, suspects that she may be doing, well, she just thinks she's doing a whole lot. But I'm telling you now, my issue is not with this young girl. My issue is with her mother. Even though Valerie complains about her daughter's behavior, she asked her then nanny, yes, you heard correctly, her nanny, to send me an email begging for help. Now, apparently, Valerie could not even take the time to lift up one of her fingers from her 7 phones, which her family members say she's always on, to contact me herself. She had to delegate that. But she did talk to us on video. Let's hear what she had to say.
My daughter is completely out of control. I feel like I don't know what to do.
My mom thinks I'm a devil child, thinks I'm going to hell.
If things don't change quickly, she could be kidnapped. She could be sold into sex trafficking. They could use her organs for religious rituals that they have. They could drink her blood.
My mom is psycho crazy. She's a mess.
Veronica would get into trouble all of the time. I was constantly taking away her phones, taking away her computers. None of the punishments worked. About a year ago, Veronica ran away from home. I work really hard. I have 7 phones, and they're all for work. It's very hard for me to wind down, so I had a massage therapist come to the house to give me a massage. And when I woke up, I couldn't find Veronica. I was terrified. I didn't know if she met somebody and they kidnapped her. I was going out of my mind, yelling, hysterical. It was horrifying.
When I ran away, the best days of my life. I took the city bus and I left.
I immediately called the police. I eventually contacted a private investigator. I posted to social media an ad for $10,000 to get my daughter back. 3 days later, we were able to apprehend her.
I was kind of bummed that they caught me though.
Do you know a girl went to her car? She was snatched in the parking lot.
What makes you think I'm not gonna get snatched in the parking lot?
How do you know that? Since Veronica's run away from home, things have only intensified.
My mom thinks I'm friends with heroin addicts. I do smoke weed. It helps me deal with my mom.
I know that my daughter is very promiscuous. Veronica uses social media to meet boys.
When it comes to guys, it's so hard because there's so many of them. You can't just pick one. For me, it's you gotta have them lined up. My mom definitely needs to relax, take a chill pill. I'm a teenager. I'm gonna do crazy.
Okay, I've been doing this show for 17 years. This is the first time I've ever had a nanny write in on behalf of a mother. Why didn't you write in instead of your nanny?
She beat me to it. We were talking about it, and she said she would write you, and I said, all right.
Huh. Because that's not what she said.
Uh-oh.
That's not what she said. She said that you asked her to write because you trusted her.
Yes, I do.
And that you look at her as someone that is credible, grounded, and stable, and so you asked her to write in.
Absolutely. She is grounded and credible and stable.
So she didn't beat you to it. You asked her to do it. You delegated it to her.
Yes, I did.
Well, that's not what you just told me.
It was a while ago. We talked about a lot of things. I'm so happy that she wrote in. I'm so happy that I'm here.
Well, I am too, and I'm glad you're here.
I desperately need help.
She's doing some things that I think put her at risk.
Absolutely.
You think they put her at risk.
Yes.
You think they might, that she might get kidnapped out there. You think she might be sold into sex trafficking.
The real concerns.
They are real concerns. She runs away, and you're concerned, so you post a $10,000 reward, right?
Yeah.
You say, urgent, missing, $10,000 for the safe return of your daughter. You describe her, and please call her mother at such and such. Please share and pray for her safe return. So you're reaching out, and you said, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm looking for my daughter.
Absolutely.
Then you figure she's got her phone, so you start texting her. You say, look, I have a $25,000 reward going out for your safe return. Please call me. I know I've been a blank mother. I'm sorry. Please give me another chance. You can date whoever you want. I'll put you on birth control. You can have the car. Just come back home. I'm dying inside. I can't handle it. I'll do anything you want. So at this point, you're just willing to tell her what she wants to hear.
I'm desperate to get her back.
You're desperate. You're concerned. So I'll delegate to my nanny to write in a letter, which seems really odd to me. That's a real, that doesn't fit with the situation. I'm a parent, okay? Dr. Phil, okay, I'm a parent. Robin and I raised 2 boys, so I've been there. You know, I get it. That just doesn't seem to be like the kind of thing you delegate. And so I start thinking, okay, is there a parental bond here? Has somebody else been raising this child? And so I start, and I see, okay, here's a woman that's a single mother, toughest job in the world, and you've got 7 telephones. And then I look and say, what hours do you work? And you tell me you work from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Sometimes beyond that. There's
Okay.
times I don't go to bed.
So you're an absent mother.
For the most part, yes. And I try to put people over my children that are responsible and that can take care of them while I'm working.
Oh, nannies are great, but they're not a substitute for a mother. Does that inform why maybe your daughter's spinning out of control?
Part of it, but I believe that from a young age, when I was there hands-on full-time, I still had issues with her.
You know what she said when she came back from this runaway?
I don't, no.
She said it got her attention, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I went to an extreme level to get her attention, and it worked. What does that tell you?
I dropped the ball because I'm working and I have responsibilities and I'm not taking care of my kids. That's why I hired people to try to be there for them, because I'm not, and I know that.
You also said that you hired nannies because you wanted to take some pressure off of your oldest daughter, Samantha.
Correct.
Who was raising her younger sister.
Yeah. So Sam had to get them up for school, and then I was working later after they got home from school, and she had to feed them and put them to bed. And she was essentially assuming my role.
She was 10.
Yeah, she was 10.
Well, Valerie's daughter is here, and we're going to hear her side of things when she joins us next.
My mom makes me look like an out-of-control teen, which I'm not. She's so old-fashioned. She doesn't accept what, kids do nowadays. She just wants to insert herself anywhere she can. When I go out, my friends' names, address, license plate. She's like the FBI.
And later, I asked you if you were bribing her. She's 16. Are you taking her and getting Botox and filler treatments?
In my life, unfortunately, I'm very busy. I work a lot, sometimes 70 hours a week. I don't keep track of my kids like I should. I found with Veronica that I communicate mostly through texting.
My mom's way of dealing with her children is just to hire nannies.
I've hired nannies to help me out. Being that I was at work all the time and the nannies were home with the girls, I started leaving the punishment up to the nannies. I feel with my daughter, I'm always walking on eggshells.
Oh, look at me, my hair's
blue. Oh, look at me, my hair's pink. These days, it's best if I just stay quiet, avoid all the drama. It's just not worth it.
Well, Valerie says her 16-year-old daughter, Veronica, engages in destructive behavior, which includes lying, running away, hanging with the wrong crowd, and going to see a fortune teller. Meanwhile, Veronica says her mother is a hyperactive stalker who does not understand that she's just living the life of a typical teenager.
My mom makes me look like an out-of-control teen, which I'm not. She's so old-fashioned. She doesn't accept what, kids do nowadays. I blame my mom for a lot of the problems that I have because she's a roadblock and she's definitely in my way. We've never gotten along. We can't. Everything's a fight. We try and have a conversation, it turns into an argument.
You
I
have
moved
600 friends?
Right, I've been to how many schools?
20s and 30s, the guy that's in India? Tell me about him.
Okay, when it comes to lying, I'm a very good liar. I feel like I do have to lie because sometimes she'll be like, no, you're not doing that. I definitely have to lie to her a lot.
She's also very conniving. She will tell me she's going to somebody's house and she's not really going to that person's house.
She does want to insert herself anywhere she can. When I go out, my friend's names, address, license plate. She's like the FBI. It's none of my mom's business at all. I would have on my phone. If you ask me, my mom definitely needs to stop being so strict. My mom is unpredictable. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. You never know what's gonna happen next. The rules always change, so it's like you never know if I can stay out till 3 in the morning or 10 at night. When my mom gets mad at me, she takes things to extremes. She's grabbed me by the arm or put me against the wall. I really wanted to chill out. What I want my mom to know is I'm a really good person. She's never gotten the time to know me except for the bad things that I've done.
You think your mom's just old-fashioned?
100% old-fashioned,
Yeah.
like everything.
So you think a modern mom would just be okay with you drinking at 16?
I mean, it's normal to do. I think every teenager drinks, smokes, parties. I don't think it's out of the ordinary.
I think you started drinking at 12.
I don't even remember what party it was.
But it was young.
Yeah.
You say you ran away while your mom was home, but she was getting a massage.
Yeah, she's getting a massage, packed my bags, took the bus, left.
You knew the kids that turned you in, and you think they did it just to get the money from your mom?
Oh, 100%. Who wouldn't want $10,000, $25,000? So, kind of find out who your real friends are after that.
Yeah. Did any of that money find its way to you?
No.
Did you tell him that you want to emancipate me and go
Well,
off on
I did
your
want to get
own?
emancipated because, we just don't get along, so it wasn't, working out.
Yeah.
So it was an option. I'm saying it was an option.
It's not like I'm around that often to be in your face.
Oh,
So you want to be emancipated, you told her?
yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Let's say you're emancipated. What now?
I don't really have a plan.
Oh, tell him about your plan to dance.
Oh, okay, my mom thinks I'm gonna be a stripper. I make a joke out of it, right? And then she runs with it, and I'm like, okay, it was a joke.
No, you were serious. You wanted to be a stripper in Las Vegas.
what if I did
'cause they
though?
make
What if I
$700.
did?
That's not what I want
Everybody
for my
tries
daughter.
stuff. You can't just say I'm not gonna be a stripper.
Because it's not safe. It's not. Why do you want to do that?
Well,
I don't. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
what are you going to do for 2 years? Because you can't be a stripper till you're 18, and trust me, you go to Vegas to be a stripper, they check.
Probably one of the older men that's interested in her
Oh my God.
will take her on board and take care of
Okay,
her.
a lot of guys are interested in me. I'm gonna go somewhere and guys are gonna stare at me. I can't
They
stop
write
what
to
guys
her.
think I can't tell them, please sir, stop staring at me.
I'll take you away from your mom. She's so mean. Go ahead and stay
yeah,
with
a lot
me.
of guys will say that.
Why do they want you? Why does a 30-year-old man want to be with a 16-year-old?
That's a great question. And maybe I'll ask the one next time I talk
Yeah,
to
in the
them.
conversations and the relationships, it's inappropriate.
When you do interact with your daughter, do you think you interact in a appropriate way and make appropriate decisions and set appropriate boundaries?
I believe so.
Do you bribe her?
Yes.
And you think that's appropriate?
I don't know if it's appropriate, but I feel like I've got to negotiate with her. I don't have control. I feel like I can't communicate with her. I can't reason with her. I can't spank her. I mean, I can't call the police on my kid. I
You
honestly
have though. Okay,
don't
she used
know
to call
what
the police,
do.
and then they'd say they can do nothing about the situation. So then they just like
A couple of times it got really bad, and I didn't know what to do.
Why call the police on me if it's just behavioral?
Veronica's older sister, Samantha, has been listening backstage. She says she has not only really helped raise Veronica, but also disciplined her. We'll be right back.
My relationship with Veronica is non-existent.
Dude, I could.
Seriously, put it down.
I do not approve of the way she is living. She even told me she wants to be a professional stripper. When it comes to my sister, part of the problem may be my own mother.
And later,
I remember when she asked me to take Veronica and her friends to go get Botox.
do you think this is insane?
Veronica has an older sister, Samantha.
When I think about her, she does make me sick to my stomach. Like, I can't even believe I'm related to her.
When I look at my daughter, Samantha, she made life easy compared to Veronica.
My sister's in all these beauty pageants and she thinks she's so perfect, but nope. Her being a beauty queen, I feel like she's like the ugliest person on earth. And for her to be beauty queen, I'm like shocked. If my mom wants me to look up to my older sister, I'm gonna be looking down because she's way shorter than me.
Well, Valerie says she has been trying to control her 16-year-old daughter Veronica's rebellious behavior since she was a small child. But her oldest daughter, Samantha, claims her mother was not strict enough, and in many cases it was she, not her mom, who laid down the law and disciplined her younger sister, said she did it by default.
If you ask me, my sister Veronica is a train wreck about to happen. My relationship with Veronica is non-existent. My sister and I don't talk to each other. There's just immense tension.
Wait, let me just cut myself.
Get out.
Dude, I could.
Seriously, put it down.
When we were growing up, my mom was always busy with work. I was asked to help out around the house. I was 5th grade and Veronica was around the kindergarten. In a lot of ways, I was kind of like a mother to Veronica. I'd make her breakfast, I would make her lunch. After school, I would help her with her homework and get dinner ready. It was my job to make sure she did her chores. Trying to get Veronica to follow the basic rules was a nightmare. As we got older, she was sneaking boys into the house, and I was often the one having to break it up. She resented me back then because I was the one enforcing the rules. Even to this day, my sister Veronica still has a lot of resentment towards me. I do not approve of the way she is living. She even told me she wants to be a professional stripper because they make $8,000 a night. When it comes to my sister, part of the problem may be my own mother. My mom does need a backbone. She needs to make strict rules and stick to them. I'm worried if Veronica doesn't get this turned around now, her options are getting pregnant or ending up behind bars.
Well, thank you for being here, and you've been listening to everything so far.
Yes, I have.
Right. So, at 10 years old, you're actually being the mom.
Yeah, 10 years old, I was waking Veronica up for school, getting her ready to go, making breakfast, making sure she had everything she needed, and getting out the door to our ride to school, which would vary day by day just depending on who was able to give us a ride since my mother was at work constantly.
So you guys were there alone?
She did get a dog, a protection dog, because we were home alone a lot, so that was kind of a security thing for us since we were home unsupervised.
She's a great animal handler.
Okay. So what is your plan?
I don't know.
I mean, really, where will you be when you're 18, 20, 25? What
We'll
do you,
hopefully have like a good job.
do you think you're at risk with some of the behaviors you're doing?
Yes and no.
What?
Like running away, hanging out with people that I shouldn't.
She's 16. Are you taking her and getting Botox and filler treatments on her?
At the dentist, she had that done, yes.
At 15?
She's felt insecure about how she looks, and I wanted her to feel better about herself. She asked me if I would sign off on it, and I did. I've had it done myself.
Oh my God. She feels bad about her body image, so you reinforce that by getting her Botox and filler.
She's asked me for more. She's asked for breast augmentation and butt lifts and plastic surgery. I won't do that. But also, at the advice of a psychologist that I did go see, and basically said if I didn't capitulate to giving her either a tattoo or a piercing of some sort, that I would lose my daughter. This is paid advice.
Is this person that told you it was okay to get Botox and filler on a 15-year-old kid because they have a poor body image?
No, actually, the dentist talked me into it.
To give a 15-year-old Botox and filler is absolutely idiotic.
I believe...
You don't do that. Seriously. I'm not... And let me be very clear. Words are important to me. I'm not calling you an idiot.
No,
I'm saying that behavior is idiotic.
I believe that if there's a problem with her, they're going to fix her. They're professionals. They're doctors. That's why I go there. I'm not seeking out a plastic
There is no problem with her.
I didn't think there was.
The only problem with her is how she might be labeling herself.
She won't change it. I tell her she's fine. I tell her she's beautiful. I tell her I don't want to change her. And
Valerie admits that she is gone most days and nights working and relies on nannies to watch her children. So I decided to talk with her current nanny. We're going to hear what she has to say when we come back, and then I am going to start making some suggestions.
I do believe that there's a few things that Valerie is doing wrong. In my eyes, Veronica is lazy, she's a liar. Veronica's wanted me fired just because I've been tough on her. I'm more of a mother to Veronica than Valerie is to her own daughter.
Closed captioning provided by...
A part of the problem is my mom does work a lot. I don't think she's slept a day in her life. She doesn't go to sleep for like 3 days straight.
I'm a property manager. I'm on call 24/7. If there's an issue, I have to deal with it.
Work came first, and we were an afterthought.
She's never had time for any of us.
Valerie says she can't always be home to monitor her daughter Veronica's every move, especially due to her busy work schedule. Now, that's why she hired her nanny, Elaine, to help out. Here's what Elaine has to say.
Working for Valerie and the family can be very challenging and stressful. Valerie has a very hands-off parenting style. She works around the clock and doesn't really have time to be a mother. Sometimes I pick up the girls from school, take Veronica to the doctors, to the gym. I've attended parent-teacher conferences for the girls. The staff of the school already know me as Veronica's guardian. I do believe that there's a few things that Valerie is doing wrong. She's the type of mother to buy material things to make up for the time she's not spending with the girls. Valerie caves into whatever Veronica wants. Valerie's parenting style has definitely caused a big effect on Veronica. Veronica doesn't take her seriously. It kind of shocks me seeing how rude Veronica is towards her mother.
So you never apologized?
No, I didn't do anything.
In my eyes, Veronica is lazy, she's a liar. Veronica's wanted me fired just because I've been tough on her.
But that's what I'm advising you to do. You should apologize to her in person.
I'm more of a mother to Veronica than Valerie is to her own daughter.
Well, Elaine isn't the only nanny with something to say. My producers reached out to a former nanny, Felice, who worked for Valerie several years ago. Here's what she had to say.
I used to work for Valerie and her family. The most shocking that I found was the lack of attachment between Valerie and her children. The kids were neglected. As the girls were entering puberty, I was the one explaining to them what was going on with their bodies because Valerie was absent. Valerie is definitely their biological mother, but she never mothered the children. I was the mother. From my point of view, Veronica has always been misunderstood. One time, Veronica ran away from home, and I asked her, "Why did you do it?" And she says, "I got her attention, didn't I?" If I gave Valerie a letter grade, it would be an F.
What do you... We'll go in reverse order. What do you think about what Felice had to say?
She's correct. I just don't know how to be a parent and a breadwinner and a father and, you know, guide them in church and take care of my parents. I don't know how to do all of that by myself.
Felice is here, and you're here because you did then and you do now love this child, correct?
She's wonderful. I couldn't have done it without her. That's why I had people like her in my life.
You think she just checked out?
She did. Checked out totally. It's like, oh my gosh, now she's paying me to be the mother, which I was upset with because they needed her, not me.
Elaine, you say Valerie has asked you to take Veronica and friends for these Botox treatments and all. When you are in the middle of this, do you think this is insane?
Yes, I remember when she asked me to take Veronica and her friends to go get Botox, and I looked at her and I was like, are you serious? And she replied to me and she said, it's only going to be one time.
You want to know what I think?
Quit my job. Everybody's telling me just quit my job, live in a cardboard box and take care of them.
You can work and make time for your kids. It's not that hard. I know my single moms
to do that.
Do it all the time.
Would y'all like to know what I think?
Yes.
Because apparently you don't. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by First off, I absolutely, unequivocally, without question, do not think that you are a bad kid. I don't think that you are nearly as shallow as you might like people to think sometimes with your flip attitude and everything. I think you're very intelligent.
I do too. I agree.
And no, I do. I think you're very intelligent, and I think you're probably getting to a point where you're starting to think, you know, I got to start figuring out what I'm going to do, because it's just now a matter of months, you know, probably less than 24 months, which is like tomorrow, before you are going to be on your own, and your standard of living is going to be a function of what you do in this world to have a nice life.
Well, it's hard when you have like people saying, oh, you're going to be a stripper, this and that, and like tell you what you're going to kind of be. And it's kind of just like, they're like roadblocks that don't like support me. They just like want to bring me down.
Yeah, I tried to put in cosmetology
No, it's my turn. You've had your turn.
Sorry.
I think you're smart. I think you have a lot to offer. I can see you doing very well in life. But there's a family dynamic where people get slotted into different roles. I'll show you what they are. There's a golden child, then there's the rebel scapegoat, then there's a lost child. They're often ignored or invisible. They're uncomfortable with others. They have strong attachment to animals. There's no pressure. They just don't make waves. And then there's the class clown. But everybody finds a role somewhere in the family. Okay, now Samantha, she was first on the scene. She took this role, right? She's the goody two-shoes over here. She's the golden child. And so you come along and say, well, okay, I'll be the rebel here. So I'm going to take this role here. I mean, that's just kind of the way it shakes out. I mean, all of your families, if you go back and look at them, you'll find out that they kind of fall into these categories. And it's not too late for you two to have a relationship. And you need to really ask yourself if you're thinking for yourself. When you let a dentist tell you that it makes sense to play into your daughter's misperception of herself by enhancing her look with Botox and fillers, wow. You know, that's when a mom is supposed to say, shut up. You know, don't.
You have to realize, though, she comes at me
just listen, just
with
listen.
pictures, and she's begging me to do this. And I have a hard time saying no to her. She wears me down. For hours, she'll say, Mom, I want this.
Yeah. Well, then you got the tail wagging the dog. you've got to have resolve here, and you've got to stop parenting from guilt. Because you're parenting from guilt. You feel guilty by being absent.
Yes.
You feel guilty by being a single mom. But I can promise you this. I would rather you live in a one-bedroom apartment and have a great relationship with your daughter than in a three-bedroom house in the suburbs and have no relationship with your daughter. Because she needs you and she misses you, and you are overreacting out of guilt.
She wears me down until I'm in tears, and I give in because I feel like I'll be hated if I don't say yes.
Well, you just don't give in, and I'm going to get the two of you some professional help so you're not having to do this alone. And I am going to get someone specifically involved here, handpicked, that is going to help your mother moderate and modulate her overreaction in some areas if you're willing to do the same thing, because you are taking some high-risk behaviors, and I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I want you to be safe. I want you to value yourself enough and love yourself enough that you won't be walking down the street at 10 o'clock at night in a dangerous neighborhood. You need to love yourself enough where you say, I'm not putting myself in that situation. I love myself more than that. And if I get some help with this, you'll participate in that, right?
Yeah.
And if I get you that help, will you do that?
Yes.
But you have got to invest time in this. You've got to take time away from work and invest in your family. It is not too late for you two to have a healthy, going forward relationship. Okay? All right. Coming up, they met in 6th grade, got married, and planned a bright future. Then tragedy struck. An incredible love story and a miracle of technology you do not want to miss. We're going to talk about that next. Closed captioning provided by... In my opinion, the people in this country who deserve our respect the most are the men and women of our military who put their lives on the line to protect you and me. And for any veteran who has endured catastrophic injuries as a result of their service, they deserve even more than our respect, and that's my goal today. Now, my next guest, Scotty, was deployed to Iraq in October of 2004. Just 6 months later, he was the victim of a suicide bomb attack that left him totally blind.
Wow. Tiffany and I first met in 6th.
We started dating our senior year of high school.
I definitely knew that she was the one.
We were married in 2003.
After graduating from the United States Military Academy, I received orders to deploy to Mosul, Iraq. On April 6th of 2005, I found a suspicious vehicle, and then boom, my world went black. I woke up blind. Depression is something that I fell deep into.
It was scary. He was in a dark place.
I couldn't see a reason to continue.
He didn't want anyone coming in his room. He would even ask, like, why are you here? And I realized that I would need to be the hope for him.
I remember this little boy knocked on my door in the hospital room. A boy who I had taught Sunday school at West Point. A boy who I felt still looked up to me. Though I was broken, he held onto my hand. And I knew that that was the beginning of my recovery. What gave me the strength to forge ahead was my wonderful wife, Tiffany. We realized that the love that we had, we could also build a family.
Let's go, boys. Let's get in the car.
My wife and I have 3 boys, and we love them to death.
He has such an awesome relationship with those boys. He knows who they are, and they only know a dad who can't see.
Ready? This is a hero rock right here.
Our love is so much stronger today than ever before, and I know he has my back, and he knows I will always have his back.
Well, joining me are Scotty, his wife Tiffany, and Dr. Brian Walensky, who is going to tell us about an amazing device that is provided free to veterans like Scotty, and which has changed Scotty's life as well as the lives of thousands of others who have lost their sight. So thank you all for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Scotty, first, I just want to thank you for your service and the sacrifice that you have made for our country.
Honor and pleasure.
Thank you so much. Once you recovered enough to return home, what was the hardest part of adjusting to your new life?
I was such an active person, and I did not know how I would continue to live that same life. And it wasn't until I really understood what importance forgiveness meant, and that's what gave me hope and truly a purpose to live for.
Tiffany, I also want to thank you because the families of veterans deserve just as much respect. How did you handle your new life with Scotty with all the changes?
But it was also a very dark time for me as well. And I just walked into his room every day and spoke truth and hope and life into him and knew that this would be a catastrophic situation that he would overcome.
Yeah. Well, Scotty and Tiffany started a family which grew with their 3 young sons, and you would think some of the joys of parenthood would be lost for Scotty. Now, Dr. Walensky, you specialize in low vision optometry and consult with the company Orcam that has developed a device that allows visually impaired and blind people to read. Is that right?
Yes, the device is called Orcam My Eye, and it's the world's most advanced wearable artificial vision device. It's about the size of your finger, and it attaches to most any eyeglasses. The device will read any text that's in front of you aloud. For thousands of Americans and even more individuals worldwide who are blind or visually impaired, this has truly been a life changer.
Scotty, I understand that you use your My Eye to read to your boys, so why don't you show us exactly how this works? So I am very excited to bring out your 9-year-old son, Graham. What do you say, Graham? How are you, buddy?
Good.
We'll let you stand right here.
Have you heard of a poem, My Shadow?
No.
Let's see what it says.
My shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me from the heels up to the head, and I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed.
You like it? Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, Graham, thank you so much. Now, I understand that Orcam My Eye can also recognize faces. Doc, how does that work?
Yes, it recognizes the people in your lives, giving the wearer a greater sense of control. So, Dr. Phil, we actually have a temporary picture of you in a device, and we'd like Scotty to identify you.
All right, now, in order to pick me out of a group, we've chosen a couple of members of our audience to come up. So Danielle and Lauren, join me on stage.
Dr. Phil.
Okay, thanks, guys. Y'all go sit down. So, Scott, what has My Eye meant to you?
It's been such a life-changing experience for me. As the CEO of Drexel Hamilton Asset Management, as a public speaker, it gives me the freedom to read documents. But for me, more personally, it's created a new relationship with my boys. You know, it's been wonderful.
Wow. Orcam, together with the Blinded Veterans Association, would like to brighten the world of some members of our audience. First, I'd like you to meet David, who was stationed in Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War. While loading equipment, David was hit in the head, and he now has only limited sight and cannot read. And next to him, Greg, who was a Green Beret in the Army Special Forces. In 2011, Greg was shot in an ambush but recovered. Then in 2012, he had a parachute accident causing a stroke. The combined incidences left Greg with no vision in his left eye and just minimal vision in his right eye. Now, gentlemen, you've heard how the My Eye has changed Scotty's life. Well, Orcam and the Blinded Veterans Association hope it does the same for you. So each are getting a My Eye device and a lifetime BVA membership.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Orcam My Eye is fully funded through the Department of Veteran Affairs eye clinics and is free to qualifying veterans. Hundreds have already received it. For vets who may not qualify for a free device or anyone who is interested in purchasing one, especially if you're visually impaired or having difficulty reading, Orcam has a limited time special offer just for Dr. Phil viewers. For the next 3 days, you can save $400 by going to Orcam.com and entering the code Dr. Phil. So Scotty and Tiffany, thank you so much for sharing your story. I just can't even begin to tell you. And David and Greg, thank you guys so much for your service. I just really want to thank you for that. And a special thanks to Dr. Walensky for being here. Doctor, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. And with Orcam, you'll see me next time. Scotty, thank you so much. All right.